Okay, it's the first week in June, and we're going to look at the garden. Basically, last Saturday I planted some seeds, and then on Sunday I came back and did some transplants. A lot of them were the seedlings that we started in the house and weren't in the best of shape, but we just decided to transplant them anyway. We start off outside the perimeter here. These are peas that I had planted when it was still cool. They've finally taken off and grown up the trellis there with a little support, but they're starting to get up in there, so hopefully they'll produce a few peas before it gets too hot. And these are a bunch of tomatoes that were volunteers. I'm guessing obviously didn't grab every tomato that fell off the tree or off the vine last year. So there's little tomatoes, and they actually have done some of them quite well. Here's one there that's pretty good size. This one's a good size, great size. Look at that, it's fantastic. When you compare to all the seedlings that I started, all the tomato seedlings there, which are maybe 3 inches tall, and the diameter is just pencil thin of the stalk. This one is great. This one's fantastic. So there's several of them that have started here. So I've decided I'm just going to let them go. And just once the peas are done, I'll pull the peas out and try not to damage them. But I'll just let those tomatoes kind of do their own thing. Since obviously, as you can tell from these ones, their thing is kind of looks like pretty cooler than mine. So anyway, what I did here is this is a 2 5-foot beds. I planted seeds for 5 different varieties of tomatoes, and I planted one of each variety here and then the same there. So basically this kind here is the exact same kind there, and parallel, that way I'd know what they are. And I don't have it here with me because I don't remember exactly what they are, but you can see that they're doing not so hot, but leaves are kind of coming back. This one looks good, not so good, okay. And I definitely would not plant my tomatoes this dense if I knew they were all going to make it, but I don't think they're all going to make it. Basically, this is all just an experiment and just a kind of a why the heck not. I've got the seedlings, I might as well just throw them out here and see what happens. So here's one there, not so hot, not so good, okay, meh, and then okay. So I figure I put them there. Some will make it, some of them won't, and then if I have to, move them around, respace them, just like I did with the eggplant in the front. So I have 10 tomatoes there. Working on my irrigation contraption. Just not quite working at the moment. So in this bed I put bitter melon seeds. Haven't seen anything pop up from them yet. Here, this next part, there's my volunteer potato. And then, so I decided, I don't know how this happened, there's some cilantro. Now how the cilantro seeds got over here, I have no idea. But crazy. So here is some, I think I planted some watermelon seeds there. And that's a watermelon seedling that I had started a month ago and transplanted a couple weeks ago. And these are seedlings from a cantaloupe. They are, just seeds that I planted. They popped up from a cantaloupe. This is a cantaloupe that we just bought at the store, and I said, hey, you know what? I should just try planting those seeds. So we'll just see how that goes. So there's cantaloupe that have popped up. Watermelon. These are watermelon seedlings from a month ago that was transplanted. Here is butternut seeds that I planted 1 week ago. There's the butternut that I had actually started as a seedling 1 month ago. Because basically what I'm trying to experiment with is if it's even worth starting them. Because if you see these guys, there's the old leaves and stuff, and these ones and whatnot. I wonder if it's just better to start them right in the seed, or right in the ground there. Or maybe just sprout them in there, let them get to this stage and then transplant them. I'm not sure. I want to do some tests just to kind of figure out the most effective thing, because it really wasn't effective to have them in there for 4 weeks, that's for sure. And then down this bed, I decided not to do a pumpkin. this year because it was going to take up 4 feet there. I was going to give it more room. So I decided instead to do 4 feet of beans. So these are a new bean I'm trying, Chinese Chinese noodle bean. They popped up so quick, it was amazing. It was literally just a couple of days before I started to see something. And then here you can see the Scarlet Runner beans popping up right there. So Scarlet Runner beans will go up, and I'll definitely have to make this fence taller. And the Chinese noodle beans they produce like a red pod that's about 18 inches. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. But basically I just want to do a little test over here. And then here I had planted in this 4 feet, I planted 4 tomato seedlings. Definitely gone. So let's see, that one's gone. That one's pretty much gone. That one's okay, and this one's okay. These two are not doing too bad. That one's looking pretty good. Okay, and then that one's dead. So, once again, it's just an experiment. No loss, really. Okay. So here's our volunteer potato. Some basil that I transplanted. He's gotten scorched like the basil in the front. Some Walla Walla seedlings that I had started a month ago. Obviously I need to start them earlier than that. Here are my 4 Romas that I bought. Obviously looking way bigger and stronger than any of the seedlings that I started. Same thing with those eggplant over there. I know the eggplant that I started are 1 inch, and those ones are like 6-8 inches thick diameter. Same thing with tomatoes. You can't even see the tomatoes over there from here, but those are the ones I started from seedlings. So I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what I need to do and how soon I need to start them. So there's 2 red peppers that I put in that I'd bought. There is and 2 of the Black Beauty eggplant over here. That is a very happy success story. That is the Sunburst. It grew up so tall, way too tall, as a seedling in the house, and I really didn't think it was going to make it. The stem was actually broken when I put it out here because when we were hardening it off, obviously being so tall and lanky, it just wind force just knocked it over, and literally it was hanging on by a thread. So I put it in there and buried it deeper, and it's survived. And not only survived, it's been a few weeks, but also it started to, once again, put out new leaves. And once it puts out new leaves, it's got new hope. So hoping that it's going to make it. If not, I'll just throw another seed in there and it'll pop up in no time. So here, these were 4. I planted 4 Romas seedlings. Looks like there's only 1 really left. That one's gone. That one's mostly gone. That one's gone. Then there was 2 other seedlings that I transplanted. I haven't planted anything in that part of the bed yet, but that's going to be next. Obviously, I'm going to kind of figure out what's going to happen with that half too. My plan is I bought some Amish paste tomatoes at the nursery yesterday. And I think if most of those die like I'm expecting, I'm just going to put them in there. I don't have 1 long row of tomatoes, and I can put up my posts to support them. I'm going to attempt to do the Florida weave this year and just kind of corral them that way. That way I'll keep them up, and since there's no fence here, see how that goes as a technique for this year. This is my miscellaneous bed, all kinds of hodgepodge stuff. Kale's doing well, growing a lot. I need to start taking some of that so it doesn't get too huge and out of control like it did last year and become little trees. The red chard, and the golden chard there have done tremendously well. Too well. Need to cut it back to make it more this size. There's my bib lettuce, all my different lettuces. I don't know what kind, just a variety of lettuce. These are carrots intermixed with beets. Those are the beet greens there. Lots of carrots and onions mixed. I transplanted more of those Walla Walla seedlings out here because there was excess. And then over here I have, this was another thing that popped up. I'm guessing this is either kale or lettuce. I'm honestly not sure. This is one of the okras. There's another okra and an okra there. They've all done well. 2 other red bell peppers that I transplanted or bought. Over there, those little guys, obviously the purple lettuce is in the middle. The 2 guys on the either side are my Thai basil that sprouted. I sprouted in the house and transplanted. They're a month old, so that's cool. I left these 2 blank. I'm going to probably do some more beans. These are my 2 plantings of beans. These are the purple ones. You can tell by the stem. These are the regular ones. The regular ones didn't really do that hot and sprout that well. But I'm going to do 2 more squares of that, so I have some there. And I put a whole bunch of little onions, Walla Wallas, 3 cilantro starts, some basil. Once again, they have some leaf damage or some sun damage there. I think they were just very pale-ish and didn't have a lot of sunscreen in their leaves, so they've got some damage, but hopefully they'll recover. If not, we'll just throw some seeds and let them go. The peas are coming up well, growing a lot. Hopefully soon they'll kick out some peas, because they won't be around once the heat really does kick in, which eventually it will. They won't produce long. 2 black beauties, 4 of the long eggplant, the traditional ones. They have got some serious damage. We had some hail. I don't know if it was that or something else, because I've never really seen any pests that eat them, but the leaves are kind of beat up. So anyway, we'll see how they do. And there are my 3 zucchinis, which when I transplanted them, once again, I think that a month is way too long to have the transplants inside, especially for the squash, because they grow so rapidly. And so they all pretty much looked like this one when I came out, but now you can see that one is doing well. This one's doing pretty good. This one's not doing so hot, but all these original leaves started to die, but it has put out new leaves, which is a good sign, obviously. This one's starting to really spread, which is good. And then this one here is okay. And what's really weird about this is this guy. I have no idea what this is. I didn't throw down any seeds with it. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a giant, the way the leaves look, it looks like a squash or some sort of something like that. I don't know. It's weird. Looks like, I don't know. Anyway, so some of these leaves are definitely damaged and stuff, but it's putting out new ones, so hopefully it'll be okay. And if not, once again, it's a squash. So I can just throw some new seeds and start over. But I planted those ones offset and to give them a lot more room this year. Hopefully they won't be so cramped. And then with the zucchini here, I decided I'm going to give them more room. They each have technically 4 square feet there. But what I'm going to try to do is the attempt to do the method where basically we put a post here and then train them, the vine, basically just tie it off. No, we can't really train it, but tie it off to there so that it's coming up and basically going vertical instead of horizontal, because that really didn't work when I planted them out there last year. I never really tied them off and it was just difficult. It kind of went all over the place. But I'm going to attempt that this year, focus on that with these guys so that I can get them to kind of come up and not sprawl so much. So I did give them a little bit of sprawl room, but try to get them up. That way we can get more yield per area. So that is what's going on as far as planting. With the updates, obviously these 2 boxes are new this year. I am working on an irrigation contraption. I do have you can see that this yellow hose that's going into the ground there, it's connected to the soaker hose. That system actually works pretty good. The issue I have is that this yellow hose that I was able to find for free is very rigid, very, very dairy reinforced. And so when I'm putting these clamps on it there to kind of connect it to these adapters, it's leaking, and this thing basically leaks like a sieve. So I'm going to need to probably get different hosing and do that so that I can install my irrigation. And you can see the manifold that I made, PVC and stuff. So that's going to sit on that bed right there. This one of them is going to go to that bed, and the other one is going to go to this bed. And then basically I'll run a PVC header off there, just use it loose fittings, and have the laterals run all the way down and stuff. Anyway, but first obviously I have to get, the most important thing is I have to get the water from the hose to the manifold, and that's kind of been a problem. So I need to work on that today at some point and get that figured out, so we don't have to come in here and water by hand, because it takes a long time to water all this stuff, especially once it starts to grow, and you have to be careful not to try. If you want to try and not get the leaves, that's basically as wet, that's where the time really comes in. So anyway, it's been a long video, but I wanted to go over everything that is here and started, and so that's what we're doing. We did all the seeds and transplants last weekend. They're popping up and doing pretty well. Some of them, the seedlings, the ones that were planted the seeds, doing well. The seedlings are kind of dying off, but we'll see which ones survive, and if any of them survive, I'll be happy and amazed. So anyway, that's what we got going on with the garden, and we'll see you next time.